Oh, it's a lovely day here, guys. I'm making my way to my favourite spot, or one of my favourite spots, and I'm going to have a bit of a brew up. It's about 7:30 in the morning, and nice. Can you hear that? Can you hear the rain? Tuesday when I was out, beautifully hot day. In fact, it was so good, as you would have seen in my previous video. So guys, without further ado, I'm going to have a bit of a forage, see what there is, and then make my way to breakfast place. Scrummy and yummy. Well, here we go, guys. It's a chicken in the woods. It's actually fast becoming a favourite fungi. I think it's due to the fact that it is a bit of a pain to get. Most times you have to climb a tree, and the fact that it's not common, put it that way, but it's not rare either, especially around here. Well, it's the first time in a couple of weeks since I've been up here, and a few weeks back it was quite windy, and we can see the wind's been having a bit of a gale time. There's a branch there. Actually, it's actually a tree, part of a coppice stand. And if I pan round, that's the stand itself, and we can see where it's been cleaved from the stand. Power of Mother Nature. We can do all we like to fight nature, but there is no way that we'll ever win the battle. She is powerful and all-encompassing. Something to play with. Well guys, as you know, it's raining, and my breakfast has been curtailed by a stupid thought. I've still got some nibbles here to eat, so I'm going to have my bit of sausage, but I should have the mushrooms and eggs when I get back indoors. What can I say? My Omnifuel stove refuses to work because I've got the wrong nozzle in it. So we all make mistakes. In fact, had it been in any other situation, like I was going up into the high mountains or something for any length of time, it could have been a very serious mistake and would curtail the trip. Foolishly, I left the other two nozzles at home, so I can't even change the nozzles. What I am going to do is label the nozzles up in their little bags so I don't make the same mistake again. Lesson learnt. Well, as you can hear, it is raining, and it's just nice to be out here for a bit, you know, just to, you know, tarps up, little thumps on the tarp, getting buzzed by mosquitoes. There's lots of little buggers around here. So, well, there we go. Silly mistake. Could have been a fatal one had it been any other situation, but I'm only 10 minutes walk from home, literally, if that. And so it's not so bad. Though, you know, a tree could fall on my head, but that's by the by. Making sure your kit works before you go out is very, very important. The other option is to light an open fire, but as everything is, it's been raining for the last couple of days, so as everything's quite wet, that's going to take more effort than it requires, really. Just to cook a couple of eggs, I'm not going to bother. I could have done with a cup of tea, but got the water, and that's just as good. So it's just a cup of water, commonly known as Adam's oil. Well, anyway, so no fungi being. I really was looking forward to cooking these this sulphur potted or chicken in the woods. I'm really looking forward to cooking it up out here today. because on the whole they food tastes better cooked out in the open. I don't know what it is. It's something, you know. But so it's just going to be a little chit chat. No skills demonstrations today. Got a new hat, new tilly, and it's made from hemp. So if I really get stuck and I want to, if I get really stuck, I can always roll the spliff up and smoke it. No, it's a nice hat. It's lighter than the other tilly. It doesn't have the studs on the side to prop it up, but it's a really good little hat. It keeps the rain off your glasses more or less. Yeah, it's been not a bad week. I had an amazing bit of news. In fact, it touched me immensely, really. Sandy, whose name I cannot remember, whose YouTube name I can never remember, but it's a British radio amateur call sign. Look his channel out. He's a really nice guy. We're hoping to meet up along with Crazy Saint Adam in August time. I've just got to get my holiday sorted out on that one. And the guy is amazing. He's actually made me a knife, and I think that's an immensely wonderful thing to do. And they're good looking knives. You know, they're more or less a Woodlaw type clone, and he makes it out of 01 tool steel. They look very, very good. I should probably mark the handle on mine with some runes, which I have a tendency to do on some things. And nice. I would like to say thank you very much, Sandy. It's a wonderful thing to do, to make these things and to just basically give them away. It's a good demonstration of a skill that you've taught yourself. And this brings me on to the subject of bushcraft skills and bushcraft in general. I keep, every now and then, someone, sorry about that, it's a mosquito, someone pops up with what is bushcraft, and you get a whole group of people saying, oh, you know, it's going out in the woods, it's survival, it's this and it's that. I think in many ways the thing that we call survival, apart from the thing we call survival, is a different thing. I'm just reading Cody London's book at the moment, 98.6, The Art of Keeping Your Arse Alive, and it's a really good book. It is to do with survival. It's not to do with bushcraft, it's not to do with living in the woods, it's basically primed around the initial 72 hours of being stuck somewhere. And it's a very good book. It explains what hypothermia is, what hypothermia is, the two extremes, and I'm getting on to the kit part, which is, I mean, his philosophy is very much mine. People that sell you survival kits are there to make money, whereas often the survival kit, if you take it apart, would be no good to you at all. The art of survival is actually keeping this bit warm, keeping your core temperature at 98.6, or as close as you can, as close as damn it. Bushcraft itself is a way of life, in a sense. I mean, I can't really describe it. It's part of you. Okay, I'll do this as a hobby, but there's so many aspects to this thing we call bushcraft, woodlaw, whatever, that every little piece has every little facet can be done. I can come out into the woods like I've done today. I've put my tarp up, I'm sitting in the rain, I've had a bit of a forage, I found some chicken in the woods, as you've seen. I was going to have a cook up, but Unfortunately, as I've explained, I've had the dull moment, and so I'm not doing it. But equally, I can go home and I can prepare stuff. You go out foraging, particularly in the autumn. You forage for things like sloes. You can't eat sloes out in the woods. Oh mate, they are bitter. They make crab apples seem sweet, and they're very, very, very astringent. So you take them home, you prepare them. More often than not, they're steeped in gin or brandy to make a liqueur, which is very popular and very tasty, very nice, quite warming. I have some indoors. Incidentally, I didn't make that myself. Fungi, you can get a glut of fungi, you know. Don't pick too many because other creatures rely on it, but you know, you've got to dry it out. So unless you build a little smokehouse in the woods, you go home and you've got an oven set very low, you can dry them out in there. But also it's like I've got some nettle stems to process, and to be quite honest, it's easier to process them at home than it is in the woods. You know, it's okay. You know, I can sit there and I can relax, I can have a brew beside me. If I had a little chair or something out here, which I've got a chair and I can bring it out occasionally, you could do them here, though there's no net. Where I come, my favourite space is never any nettles. There's loads of bracken and tall standing Scots pine. With that, you know, you take it home. The project I'm working on, oh, there's a little worm down there, a little nematode. It's amazing how things catch your eye. Now, I'm working on making a fishing kit, but the fishing kit itself is all found materials. A feather for the marker, or for a bobber, a float, whichever you like to call it. I'm making a gorge hook, and it will be made from nettle cordage. I'll be going over nettle cordage when I'm processing it, because you have to let the nettle dry. Once you've stripped the nettle, what you're going to use for the cordage, you have to let it dry, then re-soak it. Otherwise, when it dries, if you spin it up wet, it shrinks and it becomes loose and unravels itself. A number of other projects, as you might have seen in a previous vid. I made a little placemat from reed. It was a nice little thing. You can actually do so much, particularly with cattail leaves and reed leaves. Very good. They do shrink a bit. I mean, it's shrunk now and it's quite loose, but it's still a nice little placemat. You know, it'll have a place on my table for a while until it eventually falls apart and disintegrates. It's a great knowing how to do these little projects. Weaving a placemat or weaving a mat, it's a way of creating a base. If you've got to process some game, maybe a fish, a duck, or a rabbit, hare, or whatever, something small. If you've woven one of these up previously, you've got something to prepare your food on, and it's biodegradable, so that you go and you can bury it with the entrails. In fact, I would have a tendency to keep the entrails because it's very good for catching eels. And to me, that's all part of bushcraft. It's crafting things from what's around you, and it's living comfortably in the woods. But for a lot of people, it's all about kit. And I think every single one of us at some point, and it's every one of us I reckon, at some point becomes a bit of a kit junkie. Whether it's knives, whether it's cooking bits, or whether it's just, oh, that was a peal of thunder. Whether it's just acquiring kit. You know, you're always you're always after the next best thing. I bought another tarp. That means I've got 3 tarps now. They're all different sizes, so they all perform a slightly different function. I've got a thumping great 4x4 tarp, which is, I would call my Lake District tarp, because it's big. and I can punker it right down like that and get the hammock right underneath. Keeps me out of the wet, and there's enough space to actually work under it if it's absolutely tipping it down. Other than that, there's not a lot else going on. I'm glad that your rucksack has proved useful, Mick. It is good. It is a good little rucksack. In fact, the airspace behind it, I used to stuff a ground sheet in because it was very convenient. These mosquitoes are really annoying. I should have got my ultrathon out. In fact, I will do next week when I come out. Yeah, it is a good little piece of kit. Whether you're up for it at some time, I don't know whether I manage it towards the end of the year because I've got a lot of other stuff on. Maybe we should get together, find somewhere to do some stuff out in the woods, swap ideas. This is a great way of swapping ideas. I think it's marvellous. Well, guys, I think that's enough chit chat. I've disappointed myself today through my idiocy of putting the wrong nozzle on the primer stove. These things happen, and thankfully it happens in a scenario that I don't have to rely on it. The thing is, I think what I will do, as I've mentioned earlier, is I will label up all the nozzles and permanently keep them in my bag, just in case. Other than that, guys, it's wet. Poor little doggy here is looking rather hang dog. He doesn't mind getting wet when he jumps in the lake. I mean, that's amazing. If you saw the previous video, he's actually sitting down in the water. He could have got us kicked out of the park because dogs aren't supposed to go in the water, but you try telling a dog that. Anyway, guys, I hope you're all well, and to all my friends out there, be blessed, and be good. This is it. This is the extended goodbye. Right, I've had a number of people subscribe to me. I thank you for your subscriptions. I hope you find my little chit chats of use. I don't always do stuff out in the woods like I'd like to. It's obviously... Oh, the dog's at a spider. Crikey. I better give him a markie in a minute. Oh well, I've got a spider eating dog now. You don't chase much. You won't chase darks. You chase his cats. Anyway, as I say, to all the new subscribers, welcome on board. I hope you find something of use in my chit chats. If you go back to my early days, you see where I've been walking. There is a video of stills where I did some fish leather, which I really want to do again. You know, unfortunately the fish leather that I had, I cut up and to do a project, and the project never worked out, so my first piece of fish leather is in pieces. So that's a shame. You're welcome on board. I hope you find it useful. Of course, I always welcome your comments, though some people do the old that, and I don't understand why. It would be nice if they do that and put a reason why. Normally it's I think I know who was doing it, so, and that person's now been pushed to one side. Catch me on Facebook as well. It's easy to find me. If you PM me on my YouTube channel, I will give you my Facebook moniker, and well, I'm going to pack up and go home now. I want some breakfast, and I've got mushrooms. Right. And of course, having the wrong nozzle in your primer stove also has other side effects, like burning bloody great holes into your tarp. Not sure what I'm going to do about this. It's a bit big to repair, so I might have to do something else to this tarp. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have a go at sorting this out. I am really pissed